G'day everyone, how's it going? Just a bit of an update at the moment on John Moore's OperationTorch video and my entries being the 48 scale United States Army Air Force Spitfire Mark 5B, which I've got assembled, and yeah, I knew I would probably have trouble with this kit at this stage. Just with the fit around the wings and the Volks filter intake. I mucked around with this today. Excuse me. I mucked around with this today for ages trying to get it to fit. And it's fitted, but I've got a fair bit of work to do. We've got a real bad fit issue here. A bad fit issue on this other side. This lip I'm going to have to carefully remove. It hasn't fitted too well there. I had to sacrifice some areas for other areas, so I got a little bit of work ahead. The wings took a fair bit of fitting. Now I think about it, I should have maybe fitted the top half of the wings first and then put the bottom half of the wings in to get a better fit. But it's all glued together. The rest of it's not too bad, so I'm just letting that dry now. I had another piece here, so I've had to put a small fillet of plastic sheet in there to fill that bit of a gap as well. I'm going to have to be very careful not to lose some of this really nice detail here from when I do the sanding work. So yeah, and I will fit the wingtips before I do too, just to see what the fit's like on those. So that's the progress on that so far. It's going to take a day or a night just tinkering around with it. So while that's been drying, I started on my second entry, which is the Airfix SD KFZ 7 and 88 gun. I've just been tinkering around with this one just to improve a little bit and see how far I can sort of push myself. So what I've done, to replicate the checker plate floor, because the kit didn't have any checker plate floor, I've used and glued in with PVA glue carefully and distressed it a little bit, is the silver. One of my favourite pieces of bit of scratch building stuff is the aluminium foil from a cigarette packet, the freshness foil. It's got like a bit of a pattern to it. It's not checker plate, but it'll give it some sort of like effect in it when I go to my next lot of weathering stages. Sort of did a little bit of work in the dash department. I don't know whether you can see or not. Just bring this other light on, maybe you might be able to see a bit better. Yeah, went a little bit. I put clutch and brake pedals in with fine wire, and I've got a gear stick, handbrake cable. I don't know what that is. It was in the reference phrase it had, and a hand rail there. I managed to thin the windscreen down a little bit. I will be making another windscreen panel, so it's actually folded out. We'll be putting grab rails on here. With the reference photos I had, I noticed there was like a control box next to the driver, so I cut the seat down, the kit seat down, added some tape to sort of make the covers for the like the leather or the vinyl, whatever they were covered in leather, I'd say, for the seats. Cut the kit seat down, distressed that a little bit so it'll come out worn in the picture, like, you know, once its weathering is done. Filling in the backs of these other seats at the moment, and we'll be sort of improving those a bit. I will be putting the rifle racks and handrails in behind the seats. Got a little access hatch I've got to put in on the floor here, and then basically that'll be the inside. I've got a fair bit of tinkering around to do. As for the kit, for something that was moulded in 1967, it actually went together really well, and I haven't had to use any filler. Just careful test fitting, and it went together quite well. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm still trying to work out what I'm going to do with this back rack here, and what I'm thinking of doing is cutting it away and making another one from scratch, out of fine wire, and have a go at like bending everything up like this. Cut this one away carefully for a template, and then with some fine wire make a new one and solder it together with some fine solder, and then I'll have a go at putting some stowage in there in the back, bits and pieces. I'm having a real lot of trouble trying to find some crew for this, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I've been looking online and eBay. I can get some ResiCast crew, but they're the postage to me here in Australia, or Tasmania, Australia, is 3 times as much as what the resin figures are worth, so it ended up costing me about $50 for 4 figures, and I sort of can't justify that, even though I'd like to. It's just bloody ridiculous. But anyways, I've got the grill cleaned up, the bonnet's cleaned up. I've got the grill, been working on the grill. I've sanded the tyres down, and when I paint this vehicle, I'm going to try, oh yeah, I've got to put a steering tie rod in and drag link arm. The dragging, it'll be like 2 tie rod end knuckles, so they actually won't pivot, but that's what drives, just turn the steering wheel. So I've got to make that little piece there, even though you're not going to see underneath it. I just like to do it, so I've done it. I was going to articulate the suspension on this one, but the door armour base I've got, well, the idea that I've got, I'm not going to have to worry about that too much, so it's coming along slowly in between waiting for the Spitfire glue to dry. I think the little bit of added detail, even though it's probably not the scale, is going to sort of improve the look of an old kit. Just going to have to make a jig up to fit these handrails here, and yeah, and these gun racks on the back of the seat, and 2 handrails. Then on the back seat, I had to fill this in, as you can see. I've started filling in, but that will sit there. For what I can see in my references, it's got a cushion there. These cushions are split with a different type of headrest on the back here, which I'm going to have to make from scratch. I'll have a couple of handrails and some gun racks there. On the bottom of these little seat, there's some little clip brackets where the seats must lift up and everything, so I'll just make them out of just a little bit of fashion, a bit of wire up to something that looks like it, and then start the dogs barking at possums. Sorry. And I'll just fashion something up for that. So I've been using here just some basic photos on the internet. What I've also decided to do, just to break things up a little bit, and I don't know whether it's going to be historically correct, but some of these wheels here, I was thinking about the vehicle, and that's the other thing I have to ask John, if you're listening to this, mate, or someone, one of my subscribers, do you think it would be the Africa core that might have retreated into Tunisia? And what colour would I paint this half track? Would it be desert yellow, or would it be dark yellow? I have got markings for Africa core, and I'm pretty sure the Africa core were in Tunisia. They helped do a bit of fighting in Tunisia. But what I wanted to do, like, is find out. I just can't find anything out on the internet about it, really. Everyone's saying all different types of colours, and it was like the Tiger 1. If I have time, I'll go to me a 48 scale Tiger 1, another rare armour kit for me. But I wanted to know what the pea green was for the Tiger 1s in Tunisia. Someone did mention it was a Italian Air Force colour. But anyway, what I was thinking about doing with the wheels, hello dog, is painting one of these, just the old German dark grey, as it's been like pulled out of the spare, with these being painted, the other one dark yellow, I was thinking about painting maybe one or two of these German dark grey, then maybe just to break something up, maybe one in a red oxide, just to look like it's been a field repair job, just to break up the all the yellow, because they're all yellow. Like, yeah, it's just, and being a small kit, I'm not too sure how I'm going to go with the weathering, so it's going to be a little bit of a experiment. So I sort of haven't done anything like this before, but it's sort of stretched. I'll tell you now, like, guys, for a $10 kit, this has been a ball doing this. I sat down. I didn't have to work today, and I sat down and thought, will I put this on there and that on there, and it's starting to really come together, which I'm really happy about. So it'll look good, I think, once the paint's on. But yeah, everything's sort of basic out of the, nothing aftermarket. On here, I'm just making up some little like spotlight, driving light things I had on the side of the windscreen, I've noticed. And this windscreen, I did cut the fold out screen out of it, so I'm going to make a new one up and have that folded. I'm going to make a couple of bent wire frames to have it folded up in the air. I am going to have a go also at, I know it's going to be a big job, but I'm going to open these two doors up, or the other side yet, and have them displayed open, and I'd like to anyway. Yeah, it's a bit daunting. I've been thinking about it. I thought you only live once, don't you? But yeah, and have sort of some, the 88 shells in there. But it all depends if I can get some figures. There's no use displaying this thing opened up and set up if I can't get the figures. And then it was like, well, I've done all the work to the interior. There's no use having the roof closed down. But then I don't know. But yeah, it's like a fair bit of flash in this one, and it's a nice sharp hobby blade, and it sort of cleans up. And I'm not too sure the other thing either, so I don't know if there's any armour guys out there. The tread looks a bit aggressive on these wheels. I don't know whether I should sand them down some more or not, but these are taking a fair bit of cleaning up, because I'm not having a whinge because it's like an old kit, but there was like quite a fair bit of flash, or just the mould line in the wheels. So I'll clean up the best I can, and then I can't get a sander in there, so I'll just go in there with a bit of Tamiya extra thin, and sort of just help clean up some of the rough edges with that. Yeah, so that's the report. So the Spitfire's getting closer to completion. I should have all the work done on that up to the painting stage by the weekend, with a bit of luck, if I get to spend an hour or so every night on it, or 2 hours a night. The half track's going along okay. I'm still thinking of night time, sitting there thinking how I'm going to display this. I've got a couple of ideas how I want to do it, so I sort of parked up the 88 setup and sort of draped over with a camouflage net, just in a little bit of a depression in the ground, camouflage net with some sandbags, and sort of like in a firing position. But if that comes about, it comes about. If I can't get it done, I'll probably just have it being towed with the one guy figure. God, I might be lucky and have 4 figures ever. Not even a full flat crew. So I've got a driver. It looks like he's been eating too much sauerkraut. These guys here are just yeah, they're not really good. This one's sort of deformed a little bit, so the rifle's gone into his leg. But there's 67 mouldings, and hopefully I can make something of it anyway. I'll find something. I was even looking, might go into my local hobby shop and have a look for some Africa core figures from Revell or something, and I don't even know if my LM local model shop's got anything like that at all, unfortunately. I'll see what they have got. What else I'm going to try to do, guys, is with these headlights, I'm actually going to drill those out and try something that I want to do for a little while. Crafty shops sell these like fake little diamond things, like crafty things, down at the local $2 shop, which we call ship loads. Ship loads. I'm going to drill them out and use these little white diamond or clear diamond, plastic diamond things, as stand them in there and make headlight lenses out of them. That's the only thing this kit doesn't have too, which I will have to make underneath. She ain't got an exhaust system. I've got a bit of reference for an exhaust system, and there should be 2 big compressor cylinders for the air. So whether it's air brakes or it runs air for something, or it's air for recovery, or I noticed that the winch there is PDO powered, but I'll have to tinker around and make something for those as well. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's the update. It's been a really fun build so far. I'm having lots of fun. Thanks, John, for your support and kind comments. And I'll say it again to my subscribers. Look John up. He's a really nice guy. Does some great work, and I think there might be still time if you want to join. One other guy I want to do a shout out to, who's also in the group build, is Steve Mottram. Pull your finger out, Steve. You're about as slack as an English cricket team. Get the Abrams done. Or, we have to come over there and show you how to build models as well, mate. As well as play cricket. But that's all I've got to say. It's my little cheeky pommy rant for the afternoon. So with the canopy on, there's what the canopy looks like. I just cut it off roughly and set it on there. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. Don't know. But anyway, guys, thank you to my subscribers, new viewers, to John for the group build so far. It's been great fun. And until next time, stay safe and model hard. Bye.